Okay, well here we are. It's a bit of I mean, naturally feels like a very somber day, and it is a very somber day. And that's why I just thought we'd come on here and get through whatever news there is, and ultimately just have a bit of a chat because I think that's something that we should all be doing. Frankly, there's no there isn't too much news to really get through. There isn't too much, groundbreaking stuff to hit. There's a few people to talk about, like I said in the, as you can see in the thumbnails, like and the caption. But ultimately, as Sam has just mentioned there, there are bigger things to talk about, and we will get to that towards the end of the video. Let's just get through sort of the main bulk of any sort of transfer news at the minute, and then we can get through really the important bits, which is really what I want to do. I want to talk to you guys. I want to see how people are feeling, and generally what's been going on today. Because it's I'm just going to get through it as quickly as possible, if I'm honest with you, because I want to talk about it properly. So apologies in advance to anyone who joins in a little bit late and isn't able to go through some of the news that we're getting through. But I do think there's more to talk about today. So first off, we're going to get through. Thank you everyone for joining straight away. Really good to see some of the names that are appearing. Always good to see you guys in here. And the first one that we need to talk about, it's in the thumbnails. The first sort of comment of today, and it's this. It's Denzel Dumfries. It's a very interesting topic. Like there isn't too much by way of like direct links to Manchester United. However, there is a release clause that has been released and it's been talked about by Fabrizio Romano and some other big hitters in the journalist space, where it says that Denzel Dumfries would be available for 25 million euros, and 25 million euros in this transfer market is absolutely ridiculous. And I agree with what Reese is saying here. Can't believe people haven't jumped on that already. And I completely agree. Bear in mind, guys, if you're on TikTok, come over to YouTube because I can see all the comments clearly. And especially for what we're going to talk about later, I'd love to talk with you guys as much as possible. So if you can, link in bio, come over to YouTube and I can see all of your comments there a lot better. But we are talking about Denzel Dumfries at the minute. Clearly, one of the most you're new, you're in here, Mustafa, all good, but definitely one of the most talked about right wing backs in the world, in my opinion. The best right wing back in the world in terms of pure solidity in his position. He is the best for that. And Luke straight away is saying, if we don't go for Dumfries, I give up with these people. By these people, I think you mean Ineos, and I hear it. I do hear it, and annoyingly, it is going to have to do with outgoings, isn't it? Same with a lot of our positions, because realistically, if we get him, then I would be quite happy having him and Dallo as our right wing back options, and then having Dorgu and Diego Leon as our left wing back options. I'd be very happy with that. Have Dallo who can switch out there as well, but have this guy as our main guy. Like, I'd be very, very happy about it. And I don't get why we're not in for him. For 25 million euros, we have to be in for him. Like there's no other option about it. We absolutely have to be in for him. We've got 90 people, by the way, who's on TikTok, 15 people on YouTube. Please, guys, if you can, click the link in the bio so that we can talk properly. We're going to be talking about some pretty deep stuff later on in the live, so I just really want to talk to you as much as possible. So click the link in the bio and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. You've got like pictures and everything there. Subscribe on YouTube and follow up if you haven't on here. Let's get the lights going as well, wherever you guys are, just so we can get more people into the live. It really does help more than you think. So Denzel Dumfries, I mean, what are we thinking? Tell me now, what are we thinking about Denzel Dumfries to Manchester United? And I think it could be absolutely massive. I think it could be massive to get him. So what are we thinking? Denzel Dumfries, thank you guys for the follow. Whoever's just joined and followed up as well. Come over to YouTube. Let me know if you have subscribed and I'll show my appreciation as well. We've got Luke09 talking about he could be going to Barcelona. Bastian, first time I'm seeing that name in the chat. Thank you for coming. Says that for 25 million, it's a bargain. It's not even 25 million pounds, 25 million euros for Denzel Dumfries. I can't think of a better right wing back in the entire world than this guy. Do you know what I mean? I honestly don't get it. I think he is the best person to be going for, and I can't think of anyone else. If you want to have on the screen. I hear people writing that in the comments. Then you can get a super chat in quick, or you become a member to the channel. Really, uh, 8 TikTok. Let's get up to 10,000 on TikTok, and let's see how close we can get to 100 on YouTube. But everyone, please click the link in the bio. Come over. I'm seeing Willie Cat saying that Hakimi is better. That's probably someone who is better than him, to be fair. But also saying Frimpong is better. For me, absolutely not. Misfits Guna, absolutely, mate. We're going to be talking about that later on. I really want to just get through this as quickly as possible and really talk about the serious stuff, which is the news that we heard earlier today. Joey Sumner, what's up, mate? I've been following on TikTok for ages. Love your positivity content. Thought I'd show some love over on YouTube. Thank you very much, Joey. Guys, be like Joey. Come over to YouTube, subscribe if you can. We're going to hit 6,000 subscribers, which is crazy. I think we could hit it by Sunday. And then we're trying to hit 10, by the start of the new season, which would be really good fun. So if you can show some love on YouTube, that would be amazing. And the reason I say that is because we are going to be talking about what happened like earlier today, straight after this news. And frankly, I'll be doing the news for the next 10 minutes and then go for it properly. But Denzel Dumfries, I mean, what's everyone saying? Do we think it's possible? Do we think it's something that we should be looking to do? Or do we think it's something that is just a bit of a flash in the pan? Because 25 million euros, it says that it's available from now until mid-July, which is odd. Um, don't know if I've ever heard that before, like a 2-week release clause. But it clearly shows that everyone is gearing up for what could be a pretty quick move if he does go. So I think it's pretty interesting. Miss Witzgun, I hear you, man. Don't worry, we'll be talking about both. But that is the news on Denzel Dumfries. I mean, I personally would love nothing more than to have him at Manchester United demote Dallo, to a pretty simple role of you are the understudy now, you have to get better. You know what I mean? I think that is the best thing we're going to be doing if we do bring someone like that in. I just don't think we're going to do it. And Reese has a good point here. Someone is going to snap him up. I just hope it's us. So do I. So do I. I think it's just such a great opportunity in order to get him in, and I don't get it. Oscar and Brody over on TikTok, guys, come over to YouTube so I can see your comments a lot more clearly. Link in bio and subscribe. But they have just spotted us talking about the guy in the thumbnail who is really making up the majority of it, and is someone that, as you all will know, if you've been following the channel even for the shortest amount of time, you will know how much I'm interested in this guy and how much I want Manchester United to go for him. And it's looking like there is growing interest in him from other clubs, which is why I think we need to be working on it as quickly as possible. I'm just trying to find a good picture of him, and I've got one here. You all know who we're talking about. West Ham has mentioned it in the comments just there. It's Richard Rios. Honestly, like, guys, link in bio, come over to YouTube so we can all talk about him. Reese has just mentioned here about this release clause that now it's been reported that there is a stupid release clause in his contract with Palmeiras of about $80 million. That release clause is true. That release clause is true. However, they do this all the time. Likely, every single Brazilian club, especially Argentinian clubs like River do it, Boca do it, they have this release clause in place to deter domestic suitors. So you rarely see big players move from one to the next. It's kind of they have their team and that's it. I remember Corinthians and Santos were interested in Ronaldinho, but they didn't have a Bosman ruling, so they put up a stupid release clause for him domestically. He ended up moving on a free to PSG because we got the Bosman ruling. There's always different rules depending on different nations with this. And Richard Rios, I'm sorry, he's 25, 26 years old. This isn't a question on whether or not he is going to be able to develop the type of player that can work in the Premier League. He's going to have to adapt. And he's going to have to adapt pretty quickly. So it is difficult. And I do think that the way that this potential transfer could work is if we offer a pretty fair deal for him. West Ham is saying he's seen a lot of 20 to 25 million rumors. And the reason he's seeing that is because Bayern Munich and Inter Milan are pretty key. Like, they're pretty interested in him. So I don't see why we wouldn't even just throw in a cheeky bid. I think a deal of $25 million gets this done, and that's about 18 to 19 million pounds. if we have to pay 20 to 25 million pounds for him, I think that's a solid deal as well. Because again, you're getting someone that is on the cusp of their prime. And if you look at his numbers for Palmeiras for like the last 2 seasons, really, since the Copa America where he burst onto the scene then, he has been putting up some of the best kind of ball retrieving numbers, the possessions won numbers, the distance covered numbers than anyone in Europe, let alone anyone in Brazil. So I think this is a player that Man United should absolutely be going in for, and it's pretty silly that we're not talking about it. And Simon, really good point here, saying that Rios won't have a pre-season because of the Club World Cup. Does that concern you? It is a bit of a concern, something I didn't really think about. It is a concern. However, will Palmeiras make it through every single round to the final? Maybe not. I think I can see them playing like twice, but I see what you're saying. I just think that his stock is gonna rise even more, and really, if we sign him, he's gonna leave, isn't he? So I would go for Richard Rios all day long. Willie Cat says, "So this is basically a Ugarte or like competition or replacement?" No, I think there are 2 different styles of player. Like Ugarte is a battler. He's not box to box. Richard Rios is box to box. He's a very silky player, and I think he's very good. Um, Press the like button as much as you can. Like sorry, I just feel weird like asking for members, super chats or whatever on a day like this. I'm not going to. To be honest, I'm just gonna report the news and then we'll get on to, what we really should be talking about. Reese mentioned there about how he hopes that Juve are serious about Sancho. So do I. So do I. Drew on TikTok is saying that Rios is 26. We do not need a 26-year-old midfielder. That's not even half the player of Mainu. It's a very interesting comparison because Mainu, I think, is going to be our box-to-box presence moving forward, which I think will be an interesting sort of development for him. But Richard Rios, I think, does bring out something, doesn't he? Like he is a very different style of player. I think it would be good. What do you think about Villa wanting 60 million for Watkins? I don't think that will happen. I think anything with a 3 in front of it, we do. Anything with a 4, we need to be careful. 5 is out of the question. And I don't think that's something that Ineos will do anyway. And I guess we'll move on to a player that we have talked about. This is a current Manchester United player. This is someone that has been linked with a move away, but with the Dumfries news, it becomes a little bit clearer. And it's about Rasmus Hojlund. Hojlund has been quite heavily linked with Inter Milan and Hojlund. I don't really see him leaving Manchester United anytime soon, personally, unless we're gonna definitely get another striker. I do find it weird to get a replacement striker rather than like a good experienced striker like Ollie Watkins and work with both of them. You know what I mean? I think that'd be quite nice. Um, Simon has asked just a quick on the Rios thing. Let's speculate we do get Mbeumo and Rios. Where is Bruno getting in the team? Bruno will always be in the team, most likely. I mean, Bruno can play as the 8. I think he will play as the 8. I think the next midfielder beside him is the one that we're rotate most of all. But I think it would depend on the team and who we play against. Bruno can also play as a 10, and Mbeumo's not over the line. I'm hoping it will be, but Mbeumo can be a right wing back. Like Bruno can switch out with the centre forward as well. So there's a lot about that. And Mustafa Khalid Mohammed Al Sheikh has said the one good thing about Hojlund is his age. He could improve, but Amram needs to put him in a plan. He definitely does. He definitely does need to put him in a plan. And West Ham has said, I don't understand Hojlund. First season, the second season are 2 completely different players. Brian has said that my audio isn't great. Let me know if my audio isn't great, and I'll try and fix it. I could just like if you guys can hear me properly, your audio isn't great. Interesting. Okay, let me. It's a bit in and out, off and on. Yeah, and then I will just fix my settings on the audio. Thank you guys for telling me. Um, so that's one side that you can hear, but the audio side, I think this should be working pretty fine. And we'll get that background noise. Is this a little bit better? Hi, Dev. What makes Ten Hag Hoyland and Amarim Hoyland different? Honestly, it always talks about like I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know why this is getting spotty today. It's still in and out. Sorry, guys, I don't know what to do. You know what? I might just switch it to a different audio for today, just because it's being a bit weird. I'll do when I'm using this audio. Like, I appreciate it might not be the best. Is this a bit better now? It's good now. Cool. I'll stick to this one. Good thing my webcam comes with a mic, I guess. I don't need to do. I guess I don't need to do this. But it is. Thank you very much, Xander. No, not now. It was better before. Jesus, what is going on? All right, I need to try and. Sorry, guys, if it is a bit spotty. What is on the MacBook audio? Is this all right? How about this? Sorry, guys, this is getting annoying, isn't it? I'm sorry. Thank you very much for the super sticker, Xander. No, is it not good? Okay, let me try and go for this one. Just for this alone. Oh, yeah, this isn't going to be available on Spotify, I don't think. I'm just going to stick to this. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to stick to this. If it's in and out, I'm sorry. If it's spotty, I do apologize. Yeah, everyone on TikTok can hear me fine, obviously, because there's no mic attached to it. But thank you very much for the super chat, Xander. Appreciate that. Like I say, if you do have anything that you want to say and you want it featured on the video, drop a super chat, drop a membership. But on a day like today, I don't want to say that any further. I'm just proving the point. If you guys can on TikTok, come over to just get the likes up for a start. Let's get up to 10K and come over to YouTube, link in bio. Trying to hit 6K likes. Time to do loads of giveaways, so that'd be amazing. Yeah, don't you guys worry. Don't you guys worry. We'll get through it. By the way, did what I send work? Tebow, it didn't, unfortunately. It looked a bit like you have to do certain dimensions with it, like so that it fits, TV and tablet and all that. So it was a bit awkward, but I like what you did, so I'll just basically use something similar. So I appreciate that. That's better. Good stuff. So sorry for future audio listeners, this won't be available on audio. But YouTube, yeah, YouTube is a bit of a pain in the ass, to be fair. But guys, if you're on TikTok, please come over to YouTube, get the lights going as much as you can because it just invites more people into these live sessions. And I want to hear from as many Manchester United fans as possible on this because we are going to be talking about something pretty serious in a little while. I just want to get through this Rasmus Hojlund news. Thank you, Raxing, for coming over from TikTok. Appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. Thank you for the love on TikTok as well. Now, yeah, so the Dumfries news is interesting. I expect that'll be sorted pretty quickly in the next week or so. I'll be surprised if anyone doesn't jump on that opportunity because I think it would be incredible. And similarly with Rasmus Hojlund, like it's seeming as though there are some big people like Laurie Whitwell, for example, who is saying it's more likely that Rasmus Hojlund leaves rather than stays. And if he does leave, it's more likely to be a sale rather than a loan, which is interesting. Manve, if you just missed the Dumfries news, he's got a release clause of 25 million euros, which a lot of clubs are looking on that. Yeah, don't you guys worry. We'll be getting onto everything. Hojlund gets bullied in the Premier League, but this is why I directly put the picture of Hojlund from a couple of years ago because I don't know what's happened, and it's mind-boggling to me. Like I really don't understand why this has happened to him. Like I understand that having a experienced player means that you might you'll get better yourself and you'll learn and all this, but I can't understand. Like I get a confidence issue as well, but Jesus, like he's not even doing the basics right at this point. I can understand snatching at chances and all that, but doing really basic stuff wrong is a struggle for me at the minute to really see what's going on. Like he was so terrible last season, and I can't understand why. And also, like you look at his build, you look at Gyökeres's build, you just think this is a player that should be doing a lot better for Man United, and he just isn't. And it's strange. And Raphael, thank you for that. It says hi Dev, hope you're all right. And you know what? Like I'm done talking about transfer news because I'm not all right after the news that has happened today. And I feel like we should address it and we should talk about it purely just to give a fitting tribute to the people that we are talking about now and the news that's just come out and what that really puts into perspective and what I've seen also from certain football fans and what I've seen from a lot of people in the media. Like it's been such a horrendous start to the day, like depending on where you are in the world. But I woke up and just immediately see this news that Diogo Jota and his brother has passed away. And I'm hearing that it was like a tire blew out or something in his Lambo. Just the tires blew out and it just crashed the car. And I don't know who was driving or any of that, but Diogo Jota he's 28 years old. And after that, like all the stuff kind of came out, about what um he he had been going through and all this sort of stuff. But he'd gotten married like 7 days ago or something, and only 3 days ago there was a picture of his newlywed wife on Instagram, and him saying comments like "I'm the lucky one" and all this. It was like you just think like that's such a normal thing to do, and it's such a normal, you know, reason to, say that about your wife, and to think, you got kids, you got a young family, you got all this. Sorry, I'm taking this picture um off now just on TikTok because we're not talking about anything there. Um and there's really no need to talk about it any further. I'd rather have a picture of him in the background. No, I don't want that either. I just want to talk about it properly because Reese has just mentioned that he's leaving behind 3 little ones. Like I've never really had anyone close to me like pass away at that age, so I can't imagine what that's actually like, and it puts everything into perspective. Do you know what I mean? It puts everything into perspective. Like tomorrow isn't promised. You couldn't you might not wake up tomorrow. You might not, like when you're on the train, you don't know what's gonna happen. When you're in a car, you don't know what's gonna happen. And that doesn't mean that you have to walk around scared of everything. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you have to be afraid of what life may throw at you, and to think and to, have a hypochondriac approach to things and think everything is just gonna, be horrible all the time. That's not what we mean. But it's like just taking it, even the littlest things for granted. The littlest things for granted. It's you can't do that. You can't be like, you woke up today, even just a little thank you. Don't know who to, whether you believe in God, whether you believe that there's this thing that is preordained for all of us, or whether you believe there's another life after this, whatever. Whatever your beliefs are, what this life that we've got, you only have this in this form. Do you know what I mean? And I'm going to sound stupid and philosophical as if like I know everything. And look, even this idiot on TikTok, look, says, mate, why is everyone trying to be a philosopher today? Purely because this is what it puts into perspective for people. And it's not about jumping on something for the fact of, oh, we want to talk about this because everyone's talking about it. It's more like you should talk about it so that you can actually put into perspective what your life really means, because this is someone who did do that, who was living for it and was doing all of that. But he didn't know that his next day was today. He didn't know that that's what was going to happen. And you just have to. And he's right as well. It's a tragedy, and you should remember the guy. And what I do like about what's coming out about this, about the Jota stories, is how loved he was, and how much of a family man he was, and how like dedicated he was to not only his craft but to also his friends and his family and his people around him. Like I really respect that. And you know what, Luke has put a good point in here. Like, we were all worried about transfers, weren't we? We probably at some point in this week have been worried about something so stupid and so small, and then something like this comes, and do you know what I mean? It just hits you for six. It just hits you for six. And do you know what's mad? And I need to really, it's not a rant. This next bit isn't a rant. I don't intend it to be one, but I feel like I should say something about it. Being in social media when something like this happens, you have to be so, you need to just have respect. You have to respect what's happened and you have to respect how you talk about it. So I thought this has happened and I have something to say and that I want to express my condolences for the family, what it means for like what how I've taken it, what it means for the people that are around him and how I feel like we should be talking about it. And I genuinely saw some content creators, which is ridiculous. I saw some content creators talking about like they'd be going live and are talking about oh guys, send your gifts in the chat, send your likes in the chat. And are you dumb? Are you actually dumb? There were actually people who were sitting there thinking, guys, like, yeah, shout out to his family, like RIP in the chat. Let's get the numbers up. Are you thick? Like, how thick do you have to be? How tone deaf do you have to be in order to think this has just happened? This has just happened, and you can't even put anything aside. That's why, for example, I'm not going to do a thumbnail for this live with his face on it. I'm going to have something in the background to say, this is who I'm talking about, but I'm going to talk about it in the most respectful way possible. And even then I was talking about it and I was thinking, God, should I really be talking about this? Should I do it in the right way? But my message was really clear. Hold on to the people that are around you because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Stay safe as much as you can and to talk to people properly. But I'm actually here seeing people put like banners up saying that he's dead, he's died, or Diogo Jota passes away. What's going on? I saw people using hashtags. I actually saw content creators using hashtags about Diogo Jota. And I'm just there thinking, what the hell is wrong with you? And if you've done this, I don't know if anyone who's actually done this is watching this video. I hope that this gets clipped up and sent to them. If you've done that, what the hell is wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with talking about it and having a message behind your words. But if you're going to be there using hashtags and you're there talking about, like, literally Sam Chipek, who is a really good creator, by the way, good Tottenham creator, has been going to games and stuff like that. He's put a chat on TikTok, and I completely agree with it. And it says some content creators just thinking they're Sky Sports News as if their followers didn't know. And honestly, it's like they're becoming aggregators. It's like they're becoming these people that are, guys, like, shout out to Diogo Jota, but there's always a reason behind it. Do you know what I mean? And the reason I'm coming on and I'm talking about this properly is because it has affected me. This guy was my age. It puts so much into perspective. And his brother, I think, was younger than him, wasn't he? And you just think that's not, like, the point that he's a footballer. People are putting rivalries aside. Jesus, stop talking about football. Stop talking about football. This is a man. This is a man with a family, and this is a kid. It's someone's baby who's just passed away. And we're talking about a genuinely good guy. This isn't the situation where someone gets glorified after they pass away in tragic circumstances. This is a good man. And he's not going to be able to see his kids anymore. And I hope one day that I get to have kids. And I hope one day that I get to get married in the circumstances I wanted to the person I want to. And I hope to live a life with them. But that whole thing that I've just said, people will think that's basic. Like, that's like, not like it's a human right or something, but it's like, that's what people should want. Like, that's a pretty normal thing to want. And the guy has passed away at my age. And you know what? I felt a little bit ashamed when I saw the news because yesterday, I'll be honest, I was there looking at, like, the numbers on socials and stuff, and I was thinking, God, I need to be doing better. I need to be getting more. And I was getting stressed about that. How dare I? Like, it doesn't mean that you minimize the stress that everyone's going through because every life is different. But jeez, doesn't that help just put everything into perspective? Like, you might not wake up tomorrow. And it's at the point where you just have to, like, cling on to everyone that's there. And I always remember, like, when I'd hear, like, my dad or my mum or, like, someone like that close to me get emotional about people who are passing away around them, around that age. But in those sort of circumstances, it's like, whether it's through an illness, whether it's through age or whatever, you just think, you know, at the very least, you can take some solace in the fact of the life that they lived. Jota's had barely begun, really, in it. And this is happening to a lot of people all over the world. And very good comment from Alchuma in TikTok. And I love that we are far more blessed than we think we are. And it is something that I'm trying to take into my everyday life. Do you know what I mean? And Luke has just put in an incredible chat there. It's all clockwork until the clock stops and time becomes important. Oh, you got me there, Luke. And Mustafa is put in here. I lost my brother at the age of 12 when I was a little baby, and this made me cry because it reminded me of him. This is not football, it's something more important. You never know, do you? You never know what people are going through. You never know what's around the corner. You genuinely don't. A whole life just like that, just gone. And it makes me so sad. That's why I'll be honest, I didn't really want to come on live or do a live stream or whatever. Which is why I kind of went through the news so quickly. Like I just didn't want to, because I won't be coming on for the next few days because I'm going away, and I just thought I wanted to really just talk to you guys, because this is also, in terms of the community that we're building. I say this all the time, and you guys on TikTok, if you're new, or even on here, if you're new, like I say it all the time, like this community is about building the healthiest football community in the world. And I use the word football a lot compared to the like just the Man United side. Obviously, I'm a Man United fan, so I'll talk a lot about Manchester United. However, I also want to talk about, just football. Do you know what I mean? And I want to go, and just talk to you guys as much as possible, because it is about, making sure that this is a good community, and we should talk about these things, and we should do it properly, and we should talk about it in the right way. And Delroy has just put a really nice chat in here saying, Dev, you have helped me more than you ever know. When I first subbed, I was really struggling with my mental health. Thank you for that. Delroy, brother, I didn't do anything. That was all you. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is all you, straight up. But it is why we're doing what we're doing. It is why we talk the way that we talk and how we talk, is because you just never know what's going through this. And I can already expect community, let's support Delroy, because that's what we always do. It's a very supportive community here, and that's why with this, and our Chuma is saying the same in the chat, and thank you. It's very kind, and it's just an incredibly sad day. It's a tragic day, and what's even sadder is that the world will move on, as it does. The world will continue to spin. It will move on, but this family won't. And I hope now, and you know what? I have every faith in Liverpool that they will go about this in the most respectful manner. I know that, to be honest, I didn't like how they dealt with the Suarez incident, obviously, but at the same time, this is the same institution that, dealt with Hillsborough like properly. Like the real people at Liverpool dealt with Hillsborough properly, and I think the real people at Liverpool will deal with this properly as well. And when I say that, I mean they will pay the greatest respect and the greatest tribute to the player. But I also have every faith that they'll take care of the family, because that's what it comes down to now. You haven't just lost two people, you lost a bit of a patriarch. Like, this is a father, and it's someone who was looking after his family, and football was obviously the greatest way that he could do that. So I have every faith in Liverpool, and that they are going to look after him and his family as much as possible. His wife, his poor wife. I mean, from what I hear, they were childhood sweethearts, and they get married and they have kids, and they have kids, sorry, then they get married, and they were probably going to go on holiday. They're probably going to do everything, and it's like it's just horrible. It's just horrible. And what I better see from the football community is to see it come together. I really need to see me come together. And you know what? Al Chuma has put a good point in here that at the very least he was living his dream. He didn't get to live it for as long as he should have, but at least he was living the life that he wanted to live, and he's left a legacy. He's left his family will be proud of him. They deserve more time. You can never get too much time, but they definitely deserve more time in this instance. But they're going to be so proud of him. The kids, the kids are going to be so proud of him. Like they're going to be able to watch highlights of what their dad was doing and know what that means as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's such an awful day, and I just couldn't not say anything about it. I just couldn't, because I don't think people really well, for one thing, I saw people who were in a similar position to myself in that we make content on various socials in football. I I think they've dealt with it terribly, and I'm a bit shocked at some of them. There were people who were also, I'll be honest, there were people who were coming on to my socials as well when I was talking about it, or when I put up a post, or when I did my video on it earlier today, and saying, "Oh, you're just farming engagement and using a tragedy to do this. Like someone's passed away. Have some respect." I personally looked at the video and I okayed it with some people, including my girlfriend, who I massively respect in terms of her opinion. And I said, "Look, is this bad? Like, I don't want this to come across in a terrible way. I just want it to be respectful to the family and to be respectful to him and his honor and his legacy and stuff." And I think that that's what I have done, because I wanted that. And the overriding message, like I've said a few times now, the overriding message was always, tomorrow is never promised. Take every single day of it as it comes, and be close to the people around you. And even doing that, genuinely today, I was playing football, like I was just kicking a ball about with my girlfriend and the little dog as well. And I'm just there thinking, one, like, some people in this world can't walk or do that. Some people in this world can't, do those sorts of things. And I just literally got to walk out of my house, go to the park with my girlfriend and the dog, and just do that. And that's amazing. And then I sat down for a little second and I immediately just thought of Diogo Jota, and I was like, he can't do that with his son. I don't know why that came into my head, but it was immediately the first thing. That's why I just wanted to always just come on and just talk properly in the most respectful way. And I, I don't ever, I don't ever want to come on and disrespect anyone in any way, if I'm honest. And that is why, thankfully, with this community is, um, you know, it is like, it is important to talk about these things, because it's so easy to just be like, the people that are like, rivalries aside, like, I don't care if I'm a Man United fan. I even saw someone say, I hate Liverpool, but I respect him. Why are you even bringing that up? The tribalism of football, we all know why it's there, right? The socioeconomic impacts of club versus club and all this sort of stuff. There's no reason for it. And I completely agree with Simon there. It's a horrible day for football, and he's pissed off by content creators using his death to chase clout. I see exactly what he's saying. And I've put a little bit of a note in my head saying, I see you now. I know what you're about. Because I know what content creators think and how, like, SEO works or hashtags and stuff. The fact you're using certain keywords and doing it at a certain time and saying certain things, and even doing things like for engagement purposes. And even at the end, I saw some people do a call to action. I even saw one, and I reported the video, to be honest. I even saw one that says, follow for more. Follow for more what? For more what? I don't get it. I just can't get into these people's heads. So I know this isn't the type of live I expected to do today. It isn't the type of live that anyone expected to do today. And I just hope that I've at least been able to come on and convey my thoughts as respectfully as I can, because that's all I want to do. And more importantly, I kind of want to use this little segment now to just talk to you guys a little bit and to ask something of you as well. Content is a really strange game, and you can lose yourself in it. I think that happened to me early on, but I think I've had enough life experience and work experience and whatever to know the difference and to respect where I am and all that sort of stuff. And being honest, I think I've been raised well. Do you know what I mean? But ultimately, I want to kind of say to you guys now, if I ever, if I ever get out of hand, do you know what I mean? If I ever step over the mark, I need you to tell me. I don't think I ever will, and I'll never intend to, but I need you to tell me and to tell me properly. Like so far in the stuff that we've been doing, I always say when we're talking about players or when we're talking about this, keep it respectful and keep it um, productive and all that sort of stuff and healthy and organic and all that sort of stuff. Please do the same with me because that's what this is about. It's not just if this isn't a platform for me to come on, talk at you and say I'm right and you're wrong or whatever. You should listen to me. It's not about that. I learn as much from you guys as you do from me about how to conduct myself in this community because this is ours. I might be the one that has, a bit of a platform and I'm building it, so to speak, but we're building it together, like I say, always. So if you can, because I have this I'm very lucky. I have this with my girlfriend. I have this with my friends, my family. If I get out of hand, they're going to tell me. And I love that about them because that's how you become that's how you become the person I want to become, frankly. And I'm very lucky to have those people around me that will do that for the good of me. And I need you guys to do that as well for each other, for yourselves, and for me as well. And I'll do the same. How many times have I seen comments before and I'm just like, we're not having that here. Don't do that. This isn't what this is for. I need you guys to do the same. And today, I'm sorry, yeah, it just really got to me, man. Like not just the news and how I related to it in terms of like I said with his age and with all that sort of stuff, but it was because of all the different creators that I'd seen, and I just thought I literally typed in Diogo Jota on TikTok and Instagram, and I saw thumbnails and I saw like just the stuff that you see from people when they're trying to keep the engagement numbers up. And whereas me, it's like I think I must have redone my video maybe 2 or 3 times because I didn't want to sound any certain way. I didn't want to use any certain word and I wanted to make it respectful and clear. And like I say, just get the message across. And you all know what that message is. And it is like it's exactly what I want this community to be. Um and yeah, and look, and this is what I love. Like Luke is there asking me with all that's going on, how is the family? They're doing well, man. They're doing well. Um it's my brother's birthday today. And I think, to be honest, without even thinking about it, it's that probably plays a bit of a part in how I'm feeling as well. Because when you have a brother, like I don't know if you guys can relate, but when you have a brother, it's a very different like it's a very different bond to any other person, really, because like that's your actual brother. Like that's the guy that you will die for, and you will like make sure that everyone that he is okay no matter what. And he's always been the same with me. He's older. He doesn't like football. He's not really into this, but he's always the first person to kind of like support, whether it's internally, externally. He's always doing it, and I'm very lucky with him and my family. Really, they're all supportive of me in what I'm doing, and it's like Luke says, my bro gets on my nerves, but I'll always have his back against anyone. Facts. That's how it should be, man. But that's what it is. And our Chuma's saying on TikTok, family is everything. If no one hasn't thought that today, do you know what I mean? Like family is everything. And it means, you know, it's just, yeah, it's just really tough to go through. And is he your older brother or younger? He's my older brother. And yeah, so to see like my brother's got a birthday, he's 5 years older than what Jota is today, even older than his little brother. It's like, I'm just so thankful that he gets to celebrate a birthday. Do you know what I mean? And like, Yeah, I think I yeah, that bit kind of got me a little bit. So I think that's the I do think that's gonna be the end of the show. Um, I really want to thank you all for sticking with me. And yeah, Kenji, man, I mean, he's gone up to Manchester soon, and he's in Birmingham now. But I'll get down to the family pretty soon. Don't worry. And uh, I love how someone on TikTok saying I'm easily the worst Twitter account on the app. Can't please everyone, I suppose. But that's me done for today. Thank you all so much for joining. As always, like this is the reason why we build this community, to have these kind of tough conversation and to make sure that we're all right, and that we're doing things properly, and we talk about things in the healthiest and best way possible, which is what this community is all about. So I'll see you on the next one, man. I mean, of course, there will be some news guaranteed about Man United soon, at least we hope. We're quickly coming towards the time of when games will be coming, and we'll make sure that we'll, report on them and do things. And like I say, this channel is going to keep growing, and to the point where we're gonna, really just hopefully enjoy what Manchester United has to bring us. I mean, we'll see. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so love to the community as always, to all of you and your families. I hope you're keeping well. And yeah, I will leave now on YouTube. So I appreciate you guys very, very much. So thank you. And I'll see you next time. Not sure what that is. I think this weekend I'm quite busy. Frankly, I'm going to the Sabrina Carpenter concert with my girlfriend. She's a massive fan, so we're gonna enjoy that. And I'm just gonna be like getting drunk and being merry and doing all that stuff. So I can't. So yeah, I can't wait for for all that. To be honest, it's gonna be a proper vibe. And we're going down to London for the weekend. So yeah, it's gonna be good fun. But yeah, thank you all so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Maybe early next week is when we're gonna be. Is probably when we're next gonna be here. So yeah, get that espresso. Yeah, I will. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.